Hey everyone, it's Ed with Slow Car Fix, and today I'm working on my 55 Chevy. I've been making some good progress, got some paint stripped off of it, and I'm lining up the door on the passenger side to make it fit the car. So I've got this door on. This is the, went through my pile of doors and decided that this is the one that I like the best. It does have some issues, but it seems to be the most solid. I do have a few doors laying around because I've been collecting parts for this car for a while. So I took some advice from one of Brad from Montana Garage. I think that's what his channel's called. From one of his videos where he was lining up his doors and adding metal and taking away metal and all that stuff. He said the best way to do it is to not have your latch in place on the door jamb and have the door closed to where you want it to go and then put your latch on. So that way you're not getting it kind of like a false reading. So that's what I'm working on now. Also, this door pillar wasn't where it originally was. So, because it was a four-door, so it's wherever the heck I put it. And it's not perfect. It's an aftermarket panel. I'm not perfect, the car's not perfect. So what I'm trying to do is line things up the best I can. So now, typical on one of these four-door conversions is that you have to slot the door hinges to get the door to move back some. Because what happens is it gets awful tight right here. And this one was awful tight. I did relieve some metal here in the corner and I'm gonna have to tack that up. I still have to put in this patch. This is the difference of where the pillar was versus where it is. So I still have to put in that patch in behind. My line is okay, but you see my door is in quite a bit at the top and out quite a bit at the bottom. So I'm not sure, I gotta play with the hinge adjustment. I have to weld in all these holes. I have a patch down there. I've got a pile of stuff I have to do to this door, but the structure of it's pretty good. One thing I noticed is inconsistent gaps, right? So down here you see it won't go in all the way at the bottom. Something's holding it out, so that's either adjustment or it's something on this aftermarket door panel. But that's actually not even all that bad for what I'm trying to do with this car. But you can see it does kind of crown out in the middle, so I got to work on that. That might be that the car panel is actually in a little bit, and it's one of those things where I'm gonna have to fake it because it kind of is what it is. But you see, one thing I won't be able to live with is I got like a 3/8 of an inch gap here, which I am perfectly happy with, and that's maybe that's a quarter down there. That's not ideal right there. But then up here, if you look at this door, and this is where this aftermarket panel could be out, because I did put it in square and straight, but that doesn't mean it's right, because this panel's not great. But you see this, it's kind of tight up here, not tight, but it's maybe a 1/4 inch, and then it flares out to be like 3/8 of an inch down here. So what I'm probably gonna do, because I don't really want to get the door back any further, and yes, I don't have any front fenders on the car, but I can line the fenders up and shim them and put them wherever I want to match the door. I got to work from back forward, from the car forward. So I'm kind of okay with this here. I'm kind of okay with how this is sitting here, other than it does seem to be in a little bit. Now, mind you, I don't have any weather strip. It's a little in there and a little out here. So I'm gonna end up having to split the difference a lot. And then what I'll do is I'll add metal to the edge of the door. all along here to match the car, the new part of the car. It's a little ironic because the only thing that is actually a two-door on this car is the doors, and here I am screwing with them. But that's okay. That's okay. I got to do that. I have to do the same thing on the other side. I do have a gap along the bottom, which is actually quite good, almost too good. It could maybe come up just a touch, but like, how carried away do I want to get here? The big thing is I want the doors to open and close well. So you can see I've got the hinge or the latch off there, and that's kind of sitting right where I want it to be. The door, like I said, the door crowns out a bit here. So I'm not sure how much of that I can fix with adjustment. How much of that is actually going to be a little bit of filler here, and how much of that I'm going to have to live with, because it's not going to be show car. It is a patina-ish, worn-in looking car when it's done. So that's what I'm playing with. You can see these rockers are all new as well, and the floor is new. And then I've welded it. I know this is supposed to be tack welded or spot welded. I welded it all the way across because this car's been screwed with a lot. So I need strength everywhere I can get it. So I got a little bit of dressing to do down there at the other end of the rocker where it meets the door pillar. I'm gonna have some to do here. I still have to do inner door panels. But I think the next step, now that the body is all torqued down to the frame and everything, and the floor is obviously all welded in, is to try and get these doors right, and then I'll feel more like this is a car. So this door is actually pretty good. The underside isn't bad. It's pretty good. It's got a little bit of holage, air cooledness sitting there in the corner that I gotta deal with, but it's pretty good all the way along. My second best door is, hey, hang on to her. My second best door is this one, and it's got some funny business going on along the bottom, all these holes, and on the inside, it's pretty rough. You can see, maybe you can't see, but it's kind of got holes all along the bottom. So this one's going to be available for sale. If anyone needs a good passenger door that just needs a little bit of work, it needs a little bit more work than the one I'm dealing with. So that's why I'm using it. But if anyone needs a good passenger door, get in touch. slowcarfix@outlook.com. And I have two more doors, but I need to steal the guts out of them first before I sell the shells. But they're not as good as these ones. The passenger or driver's, what side am I on? The driver's door is actually pretty good. This fit overall isn't, like, I haven't even really screwed with this that much. Now that is latched though, it does have a latch on it. But you can see it's probably close enough that I need to maybe just add a little bit of metal to the door here. How is it over here? It's a little tight here. And it could come out here a little bit. So this is a whole separate job itself. The one problem I'm going to have with this one is, yeah, see, it overlaps the car here because, and I know exactly why it is. It's not the door's fault. Don't hate the door. This is Ed's fault and the car's fault. So I have to probably get this to, oh yeah, I do. Because this line here isn't great. So I got to get this whole door to come up just a little bit. So I've got some gap from the rocker. I'm going to end up shaving the bottom of the door. I'm going to end up shaving this radius a little bit where it overlaps here. And that's not something I should have to do. If you're restoring a good car, that's not something you'd have to do. This is just because of me trying to make the best of a piece of junk. So I'm going to have to make the doors fit the car. I'm quite happy with how the car is. I got to do some metal to metal filler here. Yeah, so you can see it's reasonably straight. This side's better than the other side, which is funny because this side took more work. It's going to have to get metal to metal filler all the way down there, and then it's going to get a skim probably on most of the panel of what is that stuff called? Evercoat Rage Ultra. I might prime it first. I'm still undecided about that. Yeah, I have to fill in these holes because I'm not running Belair trim on this car. I'm gonna run the 210 trim. I've already welded this in all solid, even though this is supposed to be spot welded from factory, from the backside. I welded it solid and ground that out, and I'll put some metal fill in there. Same reason. I just want this thing to be as strong as it can be because it has been screwed with so much. And I mentioned it in one of my other videos. I had a bad car accident with my 62 Corvair wagon where I got T-boned on the side. And that car was, it's a good thing that car was really solid because it saved my bacon. But I know they're old cars and I drive them a lot. I just want to make sure that it's not going to be a pretzel as soon as I get hit. So if that means doing full welds where I should be doing spot welds, that's okay. All right, so I'm going to get back on this passenger door, and I'm just going to take this as a project. This is one project. I'm not going to work on this and then go and align the trunk and then go and align the door. I'm just going to work on this door. It's probably going to take more than today. I'm just going to work on this door. Once it fits the way I want it to fit, it's aligned the way I want it to be aligned, then I'll move on to the next thing. That's the only way I can stay sane. Where'd you put my socket? I can't find my socket. Huh. Somewhere there's a socket. Ah. Bit. Where's it hitting? It's not bad. When I hold it in, it's not bad. You can see what I mean with the gap. Tight, 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 way too loose. But that's okay, I've got tricks for that. You can add a piece of TIG wire to the edge of the door. Just weld it all the way along. Add some weld to it, and that'll, you know, play the game. I think I'd rather add it to the door than to the car, because the jam is the jam. The door, this is a lip, so I can add it. You can see that somebody's brazed in some, I think this is probably a 56 door. Somebody's brazed in some spots there, and it's pretty rough. I'm gonna have to hammer that in. It's still better than the other door. And then this spot here, it's not good. It's probably gonna get a patch from there across. I could do a whole skin, I guess, but like, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do a whole skin. I think I'll just fix what I got. So, I'm happy with down here. It's pretty good. Showing you guys everything that in detail that maybe people gloss over. I spent a lot of time to try and get this to what I feel is I'm happy I'm going to live with. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. This is, you can see this is in like a lot, but it also has no weather strip behind it. But then if I put that out there, that's out there, so lots more to play with. Got to get it close enough to where I can weld that on the edge and see if that's where I like it. And then I've got something to work with and I can carry on. All right, it's been an eternity. Check this out. No hinge, sorry, no latch. Just nice, easy, closes nice and easy. And look at that, still in at the top, but down here, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I think it's pretty good. You do want a little bit of a leading, like now mind you, I can't get an accurate picture because I don't have any filler on this yet, obviously, and it's gonna need a bunch, right? I understand that. But you also want a little leading edge on your panels from front to back. So that way, because if this sticks out or is even with the front, like if this sits higher than this is gonna get stone chips. Do I give a shit? No, not really. But I'm trying to do this as practice for a car that I might care on. I care about how this turns out, but I know what I'm building here. So I'm pretty happy with this. I think what I need to do is build this patch in here, weld that all in, start screwing with my door gap here, add some pieces to it, experiment, add some TIG wire to it, and see if I can, you know, do some, get that kind of where I want it to be, roughly, and maybe fill in these holes for something fun and easy to do. And yeah, I'll be able to carry on. Okay, so this is something that you can't rush. You have to take your time, and you have to do it nice, and you have to be in the right mood to do it. I think I'm in the right mood today. So, little adjustment here and there. It's just magneted in, obviously. This is like a sharp edge on that side, so what I did was I threw a bend on the back side of this, just for some strength. I'm gonna weld that in. I'll have to screw around a bunch when it comes time to put a headliner in this thing later, because all these headliner spikes are all screwed up, so I may have to either make some or get some, or I don't know, it's a problem for another day. So I'm gonna weld this. There's a little like a lip, like a recess here where this kind of steps down. I'm gonna weld that so it's flush with that, so that way I can put metal filler over top. And Bob's your uncle, I think. I'm gonna weld this solid across here, and then I'll weld this solid across here, and I'll weld everything, and I'll keep welding. And like it says on my sign over there that you can't really see, what does it say? 55 Chevy, weld for eternity. And then when you're done that, weld some more. So I'm gonna weld this right now. All right, so this is about where I'm ending up. I'm pretty happy with this, really. So I welded the edge of the door, as you can see. This is all lined up with no hingy thing, no latchy thing. And it closes. It's pretty smooth. The gap still needs a little bit of work. It's got a little roughness there, but that's okay. I'm undecided if I'm going to try and narrow this gap a little bit. It went really well using that TIG rod. I also have done this piece up here. Put that in. It's a little bumpy, but it's all solid and welded in. I have to put metal to metal filler on there, and which is what this is here. And yeah, I'm quite happy with how that fits. It dips in a little bit here where I stopped with the TIG rod, so I might have to just play a little bit more there to get that to fit. But overall, quite happy with that for something that used to be a four-door and basically had the whole side cut out of the car. I think I'm paying a little too close of attention to detail for something that I am going to make kind of a beater look, but whatever, it'll be nice. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll keep working on it, and I'll keep posting videos when I can. Please check out the other videos on this, and if you get a chance, hit the subscribe button so you can get notified and notifications and all those things on when I post new videos. Thanks for watching.